Hey guys, how you doing? It's Rex here. I asked ChatGPT, if you were the devil, how would you make men hate their role within their homes? Let's dive into this. I talked last time from the women's side. We covered point one. Now we're going to talk about point one with men. Later we're going to get to point two for both. Number one, ChatGPT says they would attack provision and how that looks with men. So it would distort provision within men and the culture. They would convince men their value is measured only by financial success. How that distortion works, you redefine provision as income only. How often do we see that? Where it's maybe not income only, but it's income 99% of the time, right? That 1% is the only thing that's left over for doing the things that are really important for your kids and your wife. The second way this works is you create a culture where men are constantly compared by statuses, wealth, job titles, promotions, visible success, the fancy boats and trucks and campers and vacations. But the average man can never measure up to that. A teacher, a mechanic, or small business owner who faithfully supports his family suddenly feels like a failure because he isn't a millionaire or a CEO. So what does this produce? This produces men who begin to feel constant inadequacy. Instead of seeing their role as meaningful, they begin to resent the pressure. And many men, they either become workaholics chasing validation, or they disengage completely because they believe they'll never measure up. So what does restoration look like? Here we go, let's dive in. Provision is much larger than money. We have to train our brains and train our minds to think that. Provision is much larger than money. A man provides security, stability, leadership, wisdom, protection, and all these things can be done without a high paycheck. It should be done whether you make $70,000 a year or you make $300,000 a year. What does restoration look like practically? Here we go, let's dive in. It's a man who shows up consistently. He helps. He brings the effort. He washes the feet. He's a servant. He's the biggest servant in his home. Wash the feet. Help with the kids. Help alleviate the stress of your wife. You need to sit down and have a beer. Help out with the family. It's a man who protects the emotional climate of his home. When a man gets home, there's a certain energy he brings with him. Bring that good energy. Your kids, your wife, your family, your household depends on it. He gives direction and guidance in a humble way, in a God-honoring way. He models discipline and faithfulness. He sets the standard for what discipline and faithfulness looks like within the home. He leads his family. He takes his family to church. Whatever his values might be, he leads in that area. And a man who does this is providing something far deeper than a paycheck. Guys, you're missing out if you are not helping when you get home to rush to those babies that you have and love on them. Get them out of mom's hair. Bring supper home for her. Bathe the kids. Give them a bath. You don't need a break. You don't need to kick your feet up and drink a beer and scroll your phone or watch your shows. You don't need any of that. What you need to do is be a man, take care of your babies. Help them get to bed. Nothing sweeter than daddy putting the babies to bed. And then when you're done with that, then you go spend time with your wife. Guys, be present with your kids, be present with your wives. There's all kinds of ways you can do that, but simple ways, simple examples. When you get home, love on your babies, love on your wife, take care of your woman, take care of your family. Be the greatest server, the biggest servant that you can possibly be, and teach your children how to do that too. Okay? Money is what feeds a family, but presence is what builds a family. Hope this encourages somebody out there today. I know this encourages me. It rebukes and corrects me too, because I failed in these areas. If any man watching this would like somebody to hold them accountable or show them ways to do this and show them how this works practically, I'm here, just DM me. I'm happy to talk about it. I'm not perfect. I didn't do this perfect in my marriage, but I did it. And I learned it from men who were good, godly men, wise men who passed this information down to me, and they likely got it from somebody else. So I'm here if anybody wants some encouragement. Peace. God bless, guys.